Leading a startup team, whether you're delivering a sugar rush, stocking coffee, or getting a regular delivery of snacks, Office Depot has solutions that fit every startup culture, from getting those first business cards and stationery to ordering fleece pullovers with your new logo. To learn how Office Depot and the California Technology Council have partnered to bring you savings on all of these startup essentials and more, go to californiatechnology.org/member benefits. I'm Daniel Levine, and this is the Bio Report. Inhaled insulin has been one of those biotech ideas that have seemed better on paper than in practice. Huge investments have been made to carry these products through challenging development, only to end in market flops. Aerami Therapeutics, a company founded by one of the pioneers in the field, is advancing its version of inhaled insulin and building a pipeline of other inhaled biologics behind it. We spoke to Anne Whitaker, CEO of Aerami, about its pursuit of inhaled insulin, why she believes the company will be able to avoid the pitfalls others have faced, and the case for delivering insulin and other biologics through the lung with its technology. Anne, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Danny. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk about Aerami, inhaled insulin, and the use of your technology to deliver a broader range of biologics through the lungs. I'd like to start with the inhaled insulin product, though. This has been a tough and disappointing area for drug companies in the past. I'm thinking here of Nectar and Pfizer with Exubera and Mankind as well. Why insulin?
It's a good question. You know, why insulin has been something that a number of companies have tried to crack, and as you mentioned, Nectar, Pfizer, and Mankind. And my experience in the insulin market, I could tell you that the reason we want, a number of companies have tried to pursue insulin as an inhaled option is really to improve the compliance and adherence that you see with injectable insulin today. It's not a very friendly way to deliver a chronic medicine, and challenging for the patient to carry around with them. And so I think a number of companies have been looking for a new way to deliver insulin in a patient-friendly route that would really ultimately improve outcomes. And it's been, I think, challenged. Certainly it's been with regard to the devices that have come with the previous technology, starting with Exubera in a very large device, although a great sort of start of the inhaled insulin technology, but certainly not something that you could carry around. And then to the latest dry powder insulin, Afrezza, which is a great product for certain types of diabetic patients, namely type 1 diabetes patients who really need a quick insulin hit, something that's very rapid. And I think our technology is really bringing together, the learnings from those two inhaled insulins to bring a much more patient-friendly option with our soft mist inhaler device and a very natural insulin profile. So much like you see sort of an evolution of different technologies from, the first cell phone that we saw was very large, and actually my first cell phone was part of my car, mobile phone, to then, some of the larger devices that you could carry around, to now the smart phones that we have we consider the advances in the technology to deliver inhaled insulin similar. Start a very, very large device. You have the dry powder inhaler, and we believe our smart inhaler delivering a very natural insulin product will be a real transformation once it reaches the market.
This was something that seemed very compelling on its face, but if I remember correctly, when Exubera became available, there was actually a reluctance in the market to use it because there was already an established delivery mechanism that was safe and worked well, regardless of whether patients were afraid of needles. What gives you confidence there'll be market demand for such a product?
Yeah, my confidence that there'll be market demand is supported by continued patient research that we've done, market research, as well as provider research. That while there's been a good uptake of injectable insulin, basal insulin, and mealtime insulin, there still is a significant percentage of patients who either avoid insulin altogether and ultimately never progress to really care for their diabetes and end up with a number of complications because they're fearful of needles, or those that just avoid it to the point where they become insulin dependent. And that's supported by a number of market research studies. In my own experience, selling both Lantus, the world's best-selling basal insulin, and mealtime insulin, we had real challenge trying to get improved compliance with our products. Sometimes challenge just even getting patients to pick it up at the pharmacy. And when we did market research, this fear of insulin or fear of injections is very real. And so we believe by bringing a much more patient-friendly option with our softest inhaled insulin could allow patients the opportunity to use insulin earlier in the treatment of their disease and to improve ultimately the outcomes. Because the need, to me, and from what we hear from KOLs, is still very clear.
Aerami was founded by John Patton as Dance Biopharma. He's someone who's long been involved in efforts to bring inhaled insulin to market. He was a founder of Inhale, which later became Nectar. What's been learned from the earlier experiences around inhaled insulin, and how has it affected the development of your product?
Yeah, this has been John Patton's life passion to really be able to bring a patient-friendly inhaled insulin to market, because he has spent 30 years, really hearing the unmet, the need expressed by the diabetic community. His experience with Exubera, and when Exubera was removed from the market because of lack of support for Pfizer, really efforts to commercialize it as they made a decision to pivot into other areas with a new CEO. John continued that work to develop the best technology to deliver this. And so we took all the learnings from the challenges with the device, with Exubera, and the fact that its portability was a real barrier to uptake, to the learnings that Afrezza and MannKind have had around how you penetrate into the insulin market. You need to be competitively positioned from a pricing standpoint. You need to have a solution that physicians can easily translate the injectable doses of mealtime insulin to an inhaled insulin. And we've taken all those learnings and applied it to our product, our inhaled insulin product, which again, is a natural insulin profile. So it matches what a healthy person's pancreas, how they would release insulin in response to a meal. And it is a very low cost of goods product as well, because we have a device that you can use for minimally of a year, and then a dispenser that allows for the patient to carry their supply of insulin conveniently with them for a month. And we know from our efficient supply chain that we've created, and through some important partnerships, we will be able to compete on a pricing level with mealtime insulins that exist today, including biosimilars or authorized generics that have been launched. And that's very important, because access today in the U.S. market is controlled heavily by payers, and that has been a real shift over the last decade. And so pricing competitively to what is in the market will really enable that access that you need to get patient and physician uptake.
This is a phase 3 ready product. What's been learned about the safety and efficacy of it from the studies conducted to date?
So we've conducted 5 phase 1/2A studies, and what we have seen consistently with the product is that it is faster onset than Humalog or Lispro, and that is really important for those patients, especially type 1 patients, that it has fast onset. But we have that natural profile of insulin that I mentioned. We also have seen across all 5 of those studies very little to no cough. In fact, in our recent phase 1/2A studies, we saw no cough. And if you compare that with both formulations of powder insulin, you see a high percentage of cough. And that's due to a large percentage of the drug actually ending up in the upper respiratory area or even in the throat. And our device is a best-in-class device. And I have a lot of device experience in the inhalation space, so I feel I can say that very confidently. We deliver 80% of the drug deep into the airways, and it's a very gentle mist where it doesn't cause that bronchial sort of reaction that you have with other products. So we've seen great consistent results that we're excited about what we believe we will see in the phase 3 study based on both that PK and PD profile.
In September, the company underwent a rebranding. Dance Biopharma became Aerami. Why the change?
So Dance has had a long history, over a decade, of really being dedicated to inhaled insulin. And while that is we're excited about the potential of now getting our inhaled insulin program ready for phase 3, we have a much bigger opportunity to take the technology that we have developed for the inhaled insulin product, our smart soft mist handheld inhaler, and our formulation capability that we have refined as a company, and apply that to a much broader set of products, namely biologics. Biologics have grown in their acceptance and with regard to being used for chronic diseases. They are largely delivered by injectable routes. And we see an opportunity to take our capability as a company and our device and to offer patients a new way to treat They're rare chronic diseases and severe chronic diseases, and really reimagine the therapy there as an inhaled therapy versus an injectable therapy.
You're looking to deliver a much broader range of biologics through the lung. What's the range of substances you're developing to deliver that way?
So we're excited about really building on our history in diabetes with our next product that we are taking into the clinic. We're developing a fast-acting inhaled glucagon-like peptide, GLP-1, for the treatment of type 2 diabetes patients. What we heard consistently over the past few years as we've worked with KOLs in the diabetes space, and while I've only been here for a year with Aerami, I've had a long history in diabetes, and physicians have moved the focus now to really improve time and range for diabetes patients. And that's led us to this opportunity with our fast-acting inhaled GLP-1 to treat patients who have type 2 diabetes but continue to remain uncontrolled due to postprandial hyperglycemia. And so we're moving that product through the toxicology program right now. We are in the midst of our 28-day tox study, 2 different species, and we have not seen any issues at this point. And we're very excited about the potential of moving that product into the clinic in April of next year for the phase 1/2A study, similar programs that we did with our inhaled insulin product. So that's our lead asset coming out of our pipeline today. We are also working on inhaled parathyroid hormone. Patients who have their thyroid removed, they ultimately end up having their parathyroid removed as well. And today, their only option as a therapy is a daily injection. And unfortunately, that daily injection does not match the profile or what happens naturally from your parathyroid hormone as it delivers that hormone pulsatile throughout the day. And so you don't see great results with that injectable parathyroid hormone. And our technology, our device, will allow for really matching that circadian rhythm of the parathyroid hormone that's secreted through the day for a patient, and we think will offer a real benefit to those patients with hypoparathyroidism. That same technology, we think, which that is a rare disease, and we're starting there, but that same technology, that same product, can be taken into osteoporosis, which is a very large market. But we're starting small, where we think there is a significant unmet need, and we'll be moving that product into preclinical stages next year, with a plan to enter into phase 1 studies by the end of 2020. We also are working on inhaled human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is used predominantly, and human growth hormone treatment is really predominantly used in children who have short stature disease or a number of other rare diseases related to growth, really growth trajectory. And that today, the only option is an injectable therapy for those children. And they're not friendly injections either. They're a pretty large needle. And after raising 2 boys, I can tell you the thought of wrestling, a young child, trying to give them a daily injection, potentially twice a day, is a daunting task. And what we see in that area is even missing, one injection a week can impact the trajectory of growth. And so we believe by delivering an inhaled human growth hormone option that you'll see increased compliance and therefore improved results. And so we're excited about that as an option as well. And then we're evaluating a number of different biologics that we know work in our device. It's just a matter of what we can take on as a little company right now. And so those are the ones that we have prioritized, and we're super excited about the potential patient impact that we can make with those therapies.
Is there something that makes these molecules amenable to this form of delivery? Or are there characteristics you look for when deciding to develop something as an inhaled therapy?
Yes, there are key characteristics and really a checklist that we go through. Number one, solubility. Can you make it into a solution that can be delivered via an inhaled therapy? How that biologic is expected to be received in the lungs. So is it a high molecular weight? Are there enzymes in the lung that break it down too rapidly? There's a variety of different, factors that we consider, everything from tonicity to pH that you can achieve with it, and that's really what makes Aerami unique, in that we have a decade of experience as a company, but we have individuals with over 30 years of experience of formulating products to be inhaled. And so we can very quickly determine if a product can be delivered as an inhaled product and will work in our device.
What's the path forward on the inhaled insulin?
So we have wrapped up our 5 phase 1, 2A studies that I mentioned, and we're very pleased with those results, as I spoke about. And we are pursuing partners across all key markets to take that product forward into phase 3 registration studies and into commercialization. We believe that's the best route to take that product because of the large market that it will offer a solution for both type 1 and type 2 diabetes. My own experience of commercializing assets in the diabetes space tells me that this is a big opportunity, and we need a larger company really to take this forward from the development stages into commercialization. And so we're moving forward with that process. We have a number of companies in diligence, and we're optimistic about that product moving forward into phase 3 in late 2020.
And what about the rest of the pipeline? When do you expect to advance another molecule into clinical development?
So next year, we have a lot to do as a company, because we are advancing our inhaled GLP-1 into the clinic in April of next year. That's our plan. As I mentioned, we're advancing the inhaled PTH into official preclinical studies, and that means our 7-day and 28-day tox, and with a plan to have that product in the clinic by the end of 2020. And then we also are being opportunistic as a company to think about how we really build our inhalation platform as a company. And so we are pursuing some in-licensing of products to bring in so that we would have actually an additional products, likely in the PAH space, the pulmonary arterial hypertension space, in the clinic in 2020. So when you think about Aerami Therapeutics, today we are a company with a phase 3 ready asset and a number of preclinical products. When you think about the company in 2021, my vision for the company is that we will have a minimum of 4 products in the clinic and likely have our inhaled insulin program well into its phase 3 program. And we actually will have the GLP-1 data in mid-2021 with a plan to advance that product into phase 3 registration studies in 2022. So it's quite a transformation that we are really super excited about and feel we are uniquely positioned as a company to be a leader in the inhalation space.
You raised $21 million in June. How far will that take you, and are you taking steps to raise additional capital?
Well, as a small company, Danny, you're always raising money, and that's the case if you've got 6 months runway or you've got 2 years runway, because it takes time to build relationships with investors and to keep them updated on your progress and to bring that next round in. And so we have runway as a company safely through the middle of 2020. And we are in the process of building up our next capital raise, which we aim, where we aim to raise enough capital to support the programs that I mentioned, and really give us 2 years runway, which will take us to that point that I talked about of really becoming an inhalation platform company with 4 products in the clinic.
Anne Whitaker, CEO of Aerami Therapeutics. Anne, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Danny. It's been a great pleasure. We appreciate being part of your show.
Thanks for listening. The Bio Report is a production of the Levine Media Group. To automatically download this podcast each week, subscribe to our RSS feed or through iTunes or other podcast manager. To join our mailing list, go to levinemediagroup.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to drop us a line or are interested in sponsoring this podcast, send email to danny@levinemediagroup.com. Special thanks to Jonah Levine, who composed our theme music, and the Jonah Levine Collective, which performs it.